Good morning, writers. My name is Elora Gunn, and today we're going to be talking about 5 tips to create a good writing habit. If you are a new or aspiring writer, click the subscribe button below so you can see more helpful videos like this one. Also follow me on TikTok and Facebook, and the links to those are in the description. Alright, let's get started. Let me guess. You're supposed to be writing right now, and instead you're on YouTube. Before you guiltily click away, let's talk about those 5 ways that you can get into a good writing habit. Number 1, write every day. There are tons of studies out there that show that if you can keep consistent with a new habit or a new task that you're trying to do consistently for at least 66 days, it will become almost second nature to you. It'll become so much easier to continue to do. This is excellent news for any of you who love to participate in NaNoWriMo, because you're halfway there. That's how I eventually ended up finishing my first full manuscript. Was I participated in NaNoWriMo. I got the first draft done in that month, and honestly that made it so much easier to continue that habit after I had a little bit of a break, because I'd already learned, hey, I can do this. It sucks, it's hard, but you can write every day for periods of time. So after I wrote that manuscript, I took my break, and then something kind of funny happened as soon as I had kind of recharged, is I started to feel itchy to want to write. Like my brain was sitting there going like, hey, I want my fix. I basically rewired my brain to say, hey, writing is something that we need to do every day. You know, put that on the list under brushing your teeth and drinking water. Number 2, set a schedule and stick to it. One of the reasons that you might have struggled with staying consistent with your writing before is that you set yourself up for failure. Probably by saying one of these things. It's too late now, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh, no, I'll write after I check Facebook. I'll do it later, I've got plenty of time today. If you want to make writing a habit, you have to look at your schedule and decide when is the best chunk of time for you to sit down uninterrupted and get some stuff done. If you plan your writing for the time of day that it's going to be most easy to sit down and get it done, it's going to make it a lot easier. And if you plan to write when it's most easy, you're more likely to stick to your plans. One of the ways that I made writing a habit for me is when my son was really little, I kind of figured out what his nap schedule was like, and I knew that I would always have a good 30-minute chunk of time in the middle of the day for his after lunch nap that I knew he would not wake up. I knew that at nighttime I was going to be exhausted and I was not going to want to write. And also I knew in the morning I was going to be exhausted from being up all night with a newborn and I was not going to want to write. So midday, as soon as he was down for his nap, I would run to the couch, pull up on my laptop, and get going immediately. And I would keep writing for 30 minutes or until he woke up, whichever happened first. It was kind of a toss-up. Some days that meant I wrote 1 sentence, and then he woke up. And some days that meant I sat there with the laptop open, making notes, plotting, doing character analysis. But keeping that time preserved for writing and only writing helped to set myself up for success. It made it easier for my brain to switch from not creative mode to creative mode, so I could get to work a lot faster. Number 3, write even when you don't want to. Creating a writing habit is hard. If it were easy, every single person who has ever told you, oh, I'd write a book, but I just don't have the time, would write a book. Some days you just don't want to write. But the only way to reach a long-term goal like writing a novel is to chip away at it a little bit every day. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Some days all I want to do is go read a book, or scroll on my phone, or go play some video games that I never get the chance to play, and there are days where I do that. Comment down below what your favorite procrastination is, and I'll let you know what mine is as well. But first, I give at least a couple of minutes attention to my writing. So on those hard days, set a timer on your phone. Challenge yourself to do some writing, any writing, until the timer goes off. Then go relax with a clear conscience, because you've given your brain that signal of like, hey, this task is important and we want to do it often. Remember, you can always edit a bad page. You can't edit a blank page. Number 4, writing challenges. These are my secret weapon. My writing group uses writing challenges all the time to get the juices flowing, to have a little bit of a break from the big projects we're working on, or just to have some fun. Like I said in last week's video, sometimes you need a break. and a little writing challenge can give that to you, while still working towards your writing habit. And no writing is wasted writing. The novel that I'm working on right now, my horror story, I created from a writing challenge. Most of the poems and short stories in my chapbook, Death of Dreams, came from writing challenges. So give your brain something bite-sized to work on, and it will thank you. And last of all, number 5, let yourself suck. I personally think this is one of the most important things new writers can do for themselves. The fact is, your writing does suck. And so does mine. And so does every other author who's ever written a book. Good writing takes time, practice, and editing. Being a good writer is more about skill than talent. I promise you're going to write something and it's just going to be beautiful. You're going to be sitting there thinking, oh, this is my magnum opus. This is my big breakout story. And then you're going to reread it a year down the road and go, oh my gosh. And you're going to realize it's not as good as you thought it was. That's a good thing. When you can see the mistakes in your own writing, it's because you've leveled up. You've become a better writer and you're noticing the things that you did not notice before. Remember, it takes a lot of bravery to face your own imperfections. Acknowledging that they exist does not mean that you suck. You are not your mistakes. They do not define you as a person or a writer. Take those mistakes and use them to become the best you possible. When you're writing a novel, you don't want to measure yourself against future you. Be kind to yourself for where you are right now, and take it one day at a time. Use these tips to create a good daily writing habits, and one day you're going to be typing the ends at the bottom of your manuscript. That's it for this week. Now go get writing, and I'll see you next Thursday for more writing tips.